Hi guys, welcome to my channel, VeniLegiAmavi, which means I came, I read, I loved. It's lovely to see you again. If any of you are watching after the last video, we're still watching, or still working on our bullet journal. I got 2 words in because I got distracted passionately ranting about Anathem and Canticle of Leibowitz. So instead, this time, I want to talk to you guys about just kind of like how book club's going as a whole, because I know that I've kind of talked briefly about the book club that we've been doing, but I just kind of want to like have a low-key chat about it, you know, because I'm finding it really interesting and really valuable, and I want to know about your guys' book club experiences. So basically, what we've been doing is we started a book club back in August. It's April now. We wanted to start a book club so that we could basically just push all of our favorite books on our friends, so that all of our friends would have to read the books that we liked and we could all talk about them, especially like in a deeper, like more informed way, you know? So what we ended up doing is we invited a whole bunch of friends, and then we made a big list. So we started with one of Declan's favorite childhood books, Michael Morpurgo's King of the Cloud Forest. Every month we get together, talk about the book of choice, and decide what the next book's going to be. So we try to keep, like we decide what the next book's going to be and the month after. So basically we always know 2 months what our books are going to be. So like this month we're going to read the Traveling Cat Chronicles, and the month after that, May, we're getting together and watching and reading Good Omens, because the Good Omens TV series is just airing, so we very deliberately timed that. So we try to make sure that we always know 2 months ahead so that people have the opportunity to order their books or get a hold of them or whatever. Some people like to read them early, you know, stuff like that. We also, even though we want to push our favorite books on our friends, every month everyone pitches a book. Or rather, we have a big long list of books that people have pitched in the past. And every month when we sit down, we basically go, all right, here's our list of books. What do we want to read? You know? And so a few people around the circle will be like, well, I think after reading, say, The Wee Free Men, I think the next book that would be interesting to go into would be The Bear and the Nightingale, right? Like, because of X, Y, or Z. Or maybe, you know, like this last month we read Heat by Bill Buford. So we actually just had that book club. But anyway, so sometimes people are like, oh, I think that we should read Heat because it's just a totally different, you know, we haven't done any creative nonfiction, and it'll be like a really good palate cleanser. It'll be a really good palate cleanser for after all of the fiction books that we've been reading, just because it's so different. So things like that. We all kind of sit down, pitch a book, and everyone who attended that book club, because it's very much drop in or drop out. If you read the book, you're welcome to show up. If you don't. It's been working out pretty well. We do have like a little problem where, you know, our book club is very critical. And I say that in the most loving way possible. My friends are lovely. They're very judgmental. And they're very opinionated. I mean, so am I, so it's not like I don't fit in, but it's just something to be aware of, right? Like when we first pitched, when Declan was like, oh yeah, we'll start with like a feel-good, like nice, happy book, my favorite childhood book, King of the Cloud Forest. Our friends tore that book apart. Like, holy crap. Like, it's a childhood book. You wouldn't think that, you know, there would be that much. Oh, there is. There is, extensively. So it's just like really important that when people pitch these books, they make sure that they're going to be okay with having some really critical discussions of it. And I mean, there's good discussions and like things that are good in the books, and we talk about good things as well, but it's important to be able to take critique, right? Like, for example, one of our people in our book club, her friend wrote a book. And that book is Tash McAdams' I Am the Storm, which I'm really excited to read and look forward to reading. But is book club the place that you want to bring this up? Because this is going to be put on display to not only, and people are not only going to look for the good things, they're going to look for the critical analysis, right? Do you want to sit down and either A, try to see flaws, or like try to see flaws, I mean, and good things. Again, like people aren't only looking for flaws, but when you're looking for a topic to talk about at book club, you need, like, often you find things that stand out to you negatively and positively, right? Even in books that you enjoy. It's just really hard to like warn people about just how intense it is. Like even people who have attended our book clubs, like they know how critical our friend group is, and they know how diverse our interests are. I don't think there has been one book, I think, that the entire group really enjoyed, or everyone who showed up to book club enjoyed, and that book was The Bear and the Nightingale. That is the only book where everyone sat down and was like, yeah, I love this book. It was good. Like, objectively a fantastic read, which is really fun, by the way, because I pitched that book without ever having have read it. So thanks, BookTube, because I definitely pushed it because of all of you reviewing it so highly. And it is genuinely a super good book, but we'll get there. So yeah, it's just a really interesting thing. So, and like we very deliberately built book club to not have to just be about sitting down and reading the very dense books. Like we definitely, a lot of us really enjoy fantasy, so we like sitting down and reading fantasy and sci-fi and, you know, even comedic books. So this is like how we organize our book club and how we choose what books to read, basically. But it's hard because of things like that, or because there's another girl who pitched a book and someone went and looked up reviews, and someone even found the first chapter, like, well, before we decided to read it. We haven't yet. And apparently it's pretty misogynistic, like, it's pretty bad. But like the concept sounds very cool, but we've heard very, very bad things when we've looked up reviews. And one girl even went and found like the first couple chapters and sent me clips of it, and like it's really bad. And we can all sit down and talk about it, and like we can take that book into consideration, but I don't want someone to sit down really enjoying a book and then have us kind of rip out their heart and throw it on the floor. You know, like that's just, I don't want to be an ass about it. But also, if you bring a book to us that's misogynistic, like we're going to point it out. And I'm hoping that she just read it when she was young and doesn't really remember. Like, you know how like when you're young, you don't really realize how awful something is. I'm hoping that's what's going on. But, you know, still, it's a big thing. So I'm also like trying to figure that out. So yeah, it's basically just like generally hard to like figure out how like moving forward we're going to do like the book club thing, you know, and how we're going to basically police the books suggested. So yeah, that's a thing. So yeah, I would love to hear, like, if you guys have book clubs or anything like that. I would love to hear what you guys do, because yeah, it's an interesting scenario, you know? So we'll see. Basically, that's what it comes down to. But yeah, so that's the thing about book club. I am really enjoying how book club's going, and I'm really happy that I started book club. There's been like a little bit of drama with our friend group outside of book club, which has been hard because it ends up with people's feelings getting hurt, and then people feel like they can't come. But yeah, you know, it's just tough because of course, like in any group of friends, there's going to be some drama and shit, you know, like, so that's just part of having a social life, I guess. I don't know. Do you have any like book recommendations? We've actually had like a really good selection, and we've got some other good books on the horizon. There's several that like I'm not sure about going forward, but you know, like so you read a book that you don't like, what's the big deal, right? Like, again, when I have a book that I need to read but I cannot, you know, get into, I just read it out of pure spite so that I make sure that I'm at the book club and can tell everyone exactly what I think about it. That's like how I get through a lot of things in life, I think, is just pure spite. And I think I think I've come to terms with that, and I think that I'm cool with it. Am I a bad person? Maybe. I'm really happy that we did it though, you know, like book club has been a really good way for us to get closer with some of our friends who we didn't see as much, and it's just been like really chill times for the most part. And we're just like really appreciating how our life is turning out here. I was really depressed and lonely when I first started my booktube channel, so being able to finally be having some friends and a social life has been really like mentally good for us. Especially because poor Declan doesn't have me just like relying on him all the time for my social. But also, you know, it's important that he like has a social life outside of me as well, because he also didn't, and he was keeping really busy. So I think that it's been really good for both of us, just like the people that we've met and the friends that we've made. And yeah, we're doing well. Like, as much as I miss having a proper posting schedule for you guys, and like I enjoyed making the booktube videos, for the most part when I'm not making videos, it's literally just because I'm too busy and I'm like running around trying to be social and having time for everything else in my life. So like, while I'm sad that it's been taking a little bit of a backseat, especially because I was like just kind of getting into the groove of doing it, it's probably honestly like a good thing for my long-term mental health, you know, like it means that I'm doing well. So yeah, thanks for chatting with me about book clubs, and let me know down below what you think, if you have any book club drama of your own, or if you even have a book club. I highly recommend starting one, like just with your friends, just for fun, because we've really found it quite rewarding. It's just like fun to read books that you usually wouldn't read, and even more fun to push the books that you do read onto all your friends. Anyway, love to see you all. Thanks for chatting.